Yeah.
And then so I'm shocked. I'm surprised. So there is a possibility that you might do another show.
What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So let's start this video with kind of a shocking news. And this one is from Regan Grimes, who after having kind of a successful run, but not a very successful one, as he was able to qualify for the Olympia. But he wasn't able to bring his all-time best in 2 different shows. With Stefan as his coach, he has decided to part ways with him. So in the recent episode of the Olympia TV, he revealed that he's now working with Dom Supersliced, aka Dominic Brandon. And another breaking news came from that same episode of Mr. Olympia TV, that Regan is thinking about jumping into this year's France Pro Show, which is happening 2 weeks before the Olympia this year. So that's gonna be 5 shows in 1 season for Regan Grimes, which is awesome.
Do you want to break news right now?
No.
Who's your coach right now?
My coach?
Yeah.
Dom Supersliced.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah. I might do France.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying that is because he's getting more and more experience in terms of being on the stage and in terms of prepping for all of these shows and going through that peak week and experimenting with different stuff to see what works the best for him. So what happened with Stefan as a coach, that was kind of imminent because he had too many athletes, especially after a very successful run with Martin Fitzwater that happened from the New York Pro last year all the way till the Olympia. So Muhammad Foda left him and he hired Patrick Tour as his coach. And now Regan has also decided to move on and work with a different coach, possibly all the way till the Olympia this year. Now, if we take a look back at Regan's run with Stefan as his coach, he did a total of 3 shows with him, and he kind of missed his mark in 2 of them, which were the New York Pro and Toronto Pro, especially at Toronto Pro, the show that he was supposed to dominate. But he ended up losing to Sazan Hirati at that show. And he kind of got lucky at Cali Pro too, considering Crizo decided not to pursue this year's bodybuilding season. Otherwise, even winning Cali Pro, that would have been very difficult for him. Now, he did bring his all-time best at this year's Cali Pro show. But the fact is, we do not know whether he would have won that show and gotten his Olympia qualification with guys like Michael Crizo or Tony Burton if they were also doing that show. Now, there have been so many rumors in the industry that Regan is extremely moderate in terms of the gear and the PEDs and the dosages that he uses when getting ready for the competition, which is a good idea. That is the right move, especially if you are being very careful in terms of your health, as you want to have a long healthy career and also a long and a healthier life after he's done with this whole bodybuilding competition thing. Because we have to keep in mind, there is a whole life left to live after you're done being a professional bodybuilder. Now, on the flip side, people have this opinion that him using less gear, that also contributes to him not showing up hard enough or big enough on the stage. But if you guys have to ask me, I'm gonna say the argument that doesn't really hold ground, because he looks pretty damn hard in terms of conditioning, and especially from the back, he is always hard as nails. Now, it's mostly because of his genetics, and that is sort of like the biggest hurdle for him in terms of getting more muscular, especially in those front shots, more specifically in the chest area and on his quads. Now, I do think that Regan planning to do this upcoming France Pro, that is totally an awesome idea. So what do you guys think about him switching coaches after doing just 3 shows with him? Next up, we have an update from Rubiel Moscara, aka Nexella. Now, I don't think many people out there realize that Rubiel is so close to winning the first Open Pro show and getting his Olympia qualification for this year as soon as this weekend, and that is gonna be at Italy Pro. So another week of dieting after this year's Dubai Pro show. That is supposed to make him look more detailed, more leaner, more streamlined. And the thing is, that is all he needs. He's gonna absolutely dwarf everyone in that Italy Pro lineup. The reason being, he's one of the biggest and one of the most freakiest man in the entire bodybuilding at the moment. The size on his legs, that is beyond impressive. So he's overall a massive bodybuilder. The side shots on him, they looked absolutely insane at Dubai Pro show. So what's gonna make the biggest difference in Rubiel's conditioning is more separation in his quads, or I'm gonna say more difference in his overall physique in terms of him looking more appealing. The thing is, he already has amazing detail in the side of his legs. So he needs that same kind of detail in the hamstrings and the glutes, in the back shots too. So his coach Francisco Aspen revealed that Rubiel only did a 10 to 12 weeks prep for this year's Dubai Pro Show. And based on the length of that prep, he did a superb job. They did amazing job together. So I think for this upcoming show, they're going with that no carbs approach. Because the thing is, carbs, they aren't gonna get him leaner. And he needs to be more leaner in order to win this year's Italy Pro Show. Now we have been pointing out the negative points on Rubiel, but the fact is he did make some improvements from last year's Dubai Pro Show to this year. His shoulders back then were one of his biggest weaknesses that made him look unbalanced, especially in the upper half, as he has some insane arms and crazy big chest, and he looked more balanced in comparison to last year. So all he needs is more detail. So do let me know what you guys think. Can Rubiel win this upcoming show? So the Persian wolf Hadi Chopan just posted his trademark most muscular shot with that cheeky emoji. So this might be the starting point of Hadi Chopan's prep for this year's Mr. Olympia. And to have that kind of detail that he has right now. Now that is something that Hadi is always known for. He always has that. But at the same time, looking so damn huge and so massive, this must be kind of scary for a lot of people out there. Now, Hadi was never among those guys with those very round 3D looking delts, but his chest, that is absolutely bonkers. This is a very simple fact. No one has that kind of detail, the deep striations all across his chest. No one can match that kind of detail in the entire men's open or in that entire pro league at the moment. His most muscular shot is probably the most powerful shot, and that too against anyone. The big question is, will Hadi try to play the size game to chase the champ Samson Dauda? Because we all know Samson Dauda is the biggest guy in this year's Olympia lineup. Now, I do not think he's gonna try and do that to come in heavier, especially after what happened and looking at the results at this past Arnold, Ohio, where Derek Lunsford was able to beat Samson Dauda and conditioning prevailed over size, and that was a major difference maker between Derek and Samson, and nobody can get more grainy and more gnarly than Hadi Chopan. So the best chance for Hadi Chopan at winning his second Olympia title, that is by beating his Arnold 2024 look, and that is easier said than done. And if he can bring a better physique than his Arnold winning package, there is every single reason to believe that he's gonna win the Olympia title and become the second only man after Jay Cutler to reclaim that Olympia throne. I mean, even a guy like Nick Walker, the mutant, he himself said that the only guy he thinks he cannot beat is Hadi Chopan from the Arnold 2024. Next up, we have an update from Milos Barabani. So after winning Dubai Pro Show and becoming $140,000 richer, it was quite surprising to see his name not appearing on this year's Italy Pro list. Because when initially Milos Barabani talked about his competition plans, he always said that he was interested in defending that Italy Pro title. So maybe there is a bigger picture in Barroz's mind and also in Milos's mind. And he knows he has to make every week count in order to make the biggest impact at his Olympia debut in October. Obviously, if he's successful in getting his US visa, even Milos Barabani admitted that in order for Milos Barabani to be in that Olympia top 5, what he needs is more volume on his quads. Now realistically, let's make it Olympia top 6 for Milos Barabani. But even then, he's gonna have to beat a guy like Andrew Jack or Martin Fitzwater if we go by last year's Olympia placing. And it's a very simple fact. That isn't gonna be an easy task. Now his dedication to the sport of bodybuilding, that is so commendable though. Back in the gym, pushing himself just a couple of days after winning Dubai Pro Show and striving to get even better day in and day out, even though he knows the chances of him getting the visa, they are looking very slim. So there is one more Pro Show that Barrouz can easily win if he changes his mind, and that's Portugal Pro, and that show is happening in 10 days time. Next up, we have an update from Muhammad Foda. So he hasn't talked about his future competition plans, and many of us thought he should have done this year's Italy Pro Show because that could have been his ticket to this year's Olympia stage. And looking at some of the comparisons from this past Dubai Pro, I think Muhammad Foda and Patrick Tour, they brought a super package and a phenomenal condition. He was very competitive against those top 3 guys until they turned around and hit the back shots. Now, it wasn't surprising for any of us to see the lack of density and the depth in Muhammad Foda's back, as this was the main issue with him even last year when he won Chicago Pro Show. Now we know Behrouz Tabani has that crazy kind of width in that front lat spread. And just have a look at Muhammad Foda's width in that same shot. That is craziness. So maybe Muhammad Foda and Patrick Tuor, they're gonna go through a proper off-season, try and improve his back, because if he can do that, this guy for sure is gonna be in that Olympia top 10. He is just put up together very well, so beautifully. Good overall aesthetics, a lot of size, a lot of density in the front and in the side shots. Now as a young guy, he needs to be a bit more cautious about his midsection. Make sure that it doesn't grow. So he did a side variation of the abs and thigh shot at this year's Dubai Pro Show. The same variation that William Bonac does. So do you guys think Muhammad Foda should jump into this year's Portugal Pro or Tampa Pro or Texas Pro Show? So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.